All right, guys, so this is going to be a quick video on Tesla and just a crazy strategy on how to possibly make over $400,000 not even using your own money. Okay, so most people don't know this, but if you go to a bank, I'm sure there's restrictions on certain banks, but most banks, if you say that you make under $110,000 a year, they do not do an income verification check on you, and you can get a line of credit for up to $20,000 to $25,000. Okay, so I currently did this, and I have a line of credit for $25,000 with 11% interest rate. And what I'm going to do is I can take this $25,000, and I have another video on Tesla how I think this is a high probability of a bottom. And if we bottom here, then I think that it is very possible we go over $500 and $700 over the next 2 years. Okay, so if you haven't watched that Tesla video, make sure you go watch that first. So let's say we bottom here. What we can technically do is we could take $5,000 of that $25,000 line of credit and buy $5,000 worth of 2026 June $300 contracts. Okay. And this is a starter position. And the idea is behind this is if we get a weekly close under 130, I don't think this is the bottom and it would be a failed trade. So with $5,000 and about, up to a 10% risk in the stock price, you're risking maybe $1,500 of this $5,000. Okay, so at the beginning, you have a $1,500 risk. Let's say the trade starts going our way. After the trade starts going our way and earnings comes Tuesday after the close, if this looks like the bottom, which I think it is, and we start curling out of here with high volume, that's pretty much going to give me high confidence that this is the bottom, in which you could take the other $20,000 out and then buy more June 2026 $300 contracts. And if you have $25,000 in contracts at this price, let's just look at the numbers. If we get June $300 2026 contracts and we get, let's just say, figuratively, you wouldn't have the exact number just because if you bought the other 20,000 later, you wouldn't have as good of a strike price. So let's just act like you're doing one less. Let's say you have $23,000. If Tesla was to hit $700, which would be my price target by June 2026, you would make $500,000 from this strategy. And during this time, you would only pay about $5,000 in interest to borrow money from a bank to use for this trade. Now, the risk here is fairly low other than the $1,500 because you're going to wait for the trade to go your way before you put it on the additional risk. And then if we start at some point get under 130, you just cut the trade because it's a failed trade. So it's possible you could take on an additional risk, but to risk a couple $1,000s to make a $500,000, or let's say it only goes to 400, right? Let's say it double tops. If it goes all the way to June 2026, that's still $100,000. So to risk, a couple $1,000s to make $100,000 up to $400,000, $500,000, I would take that risk to reward every single time. It's a no-brainer, which is kind of crazy that you can actually borrow money from a bank and utilize it in a sense of this. But you would only want to do it in a high conviction play, right? So something to consider. This is not financial advice. Don't sue me. And 130 would be the cutoff for Tesla. But with this strategy of using the bank's money, you stand to possibly make anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. If you want to see the Tesla trade idea, go to my YouTube and check that out.